Illinois Public Media News. This is 217 Today. I'm Stephanie Mosqueda. It's Friday, August 23rd. Coming up, we'll listen to a conversation with the principal of the new Multilingual elementary school in Urbana. That story in just a few minutes. But first, these headlines. Kamala Harris summoned Americans to reject political divisions and chart what she called a new way forward. Last night, the vice president accepted her party's nomination for president with a speech that blended biography with warnings about electing Donald Trump again to the White House. In her acceptance speech at the Democratic Convention, Harris says Americans must overcome political divisions.
Our nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward.
The convention also granted a prime speaking slot to former Representative Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, a Republican critic of Trump's. Harris will debate Trump in Philadelphia on September 10th, live on ABC. This week's Democratic National Convention was also the chance to learn more about vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. The Minnesota governor tried to use his biography as a hunter, teacher, football coach, and a National Guardsman from the Midwest to disarm attacks from Republicans. This week, IPM producer Christine Hatfield asked 3 delegates what they thought about Walz.
My name is Marianne, and I'm from the South Loop. I've loved him. I've loved the fact that he's just a regular guy, but he's also worked with children. He's done such a great job, and he's smart, he's well-spoken, and really excited about the election.
Hi, my name is Regan. I'm from Minnesota. I mean, as someone who was in Minnesota schools when he passed a bill making all school lunches free, I think that he's a great person who's done a lot of good for Minnesota, and I'm excited for what he could potentially bring to the country.
And my name's Cam. I'm from Chicago. I'm really looking forward to the sort of platform that he's going to try and establish for himself and for Vice President Harris as they continue through their campaign. I've been following, I've seen what he's done for Minnesota, and I'm hoping that he can bring his work to a more national level if he does work to the vice presidential position and bring more solidarity to the nation.
That was Mary Ann from Chicago, Reagan from Minnesota, and Cam from Chicago talking about their thoughts about vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. The Democrat will debate Republican VP pick J.D. Vance October 1st in New York City on CBS. He's a Republican without a party. And Dave McKinney reports from the United Center, former Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger got a primetime role at the Democratic National Convention, and Illinois Democrats were quite happy about it.
Strange bedfellows. That's how Kinzinger sees it now that Democrats are his biggest fans. The partisan United Center crowd last night delivered thunderous adoration to the former GOP congressman for the anti-Trump message he delivered shortly ahead of Kamala Harris's nomination acceptance speech.
I've learned something about the Democratic Party, and I want to let my fellow Republicans in on the secret. The Democrats are as patriotic as us.
Kinzinger voted to impeach Trump, served on the January 6th committee, and now backs Harris, a resume Democrats hope will attract independent and displaced Republican voters and be good for fundraising.
Donald Trump is a weak man pretending to be strong. He is a small man pretending to be big. He's a faithless man pretending to be righteous. He's a perpetrator who can't stop playing the victim.
Kinzinger was the highest profile Republican to speak out against Trump during a convention week that included other anti-Trump Republican castoffs. Trump has belittled the former congressman and even suggested he be indicted. But Kinzinger's former Illinois colleagues, like Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, are now canonizing him.
Well, first of all, I can't thank him enough for his courage, for his steadfastness, his support for democracy, and his principle.
She thinks he'll help the Democratic ticket this fall by peeling away votes from Trump.
He wants to speak his mind, that he did not stand with Donald Trump. He stood with saving our democracy.
Democratic Congressman Sean Casten respects that courage too and says the GOP's response to Kinzinger for speaking his conscience is truly grievous.
To my mind, the tragedy of Adam Kinzinger is that by voting to defend democracy, he was excommunicated from his own party.
But Kinzinger says his willingness to shoulder grief from Republicans and his new embrace of Democrats are tethered to the same principle.
Some have questioned why I've taken the stand I have. The answer is really simple, ladies and gentlemen. We must put country first. And tonight, as a Republican speaking before you, I'm putting our country first.
Whether that translates to helping Harris finish first on Election Day won't be clear for 75 more days.
You can see a slideshow of photos from IPM crews in Chicago this week for the DNC. Also, listen to a wrap-up of the convention on the 21st show, today at 11 on AM 580 and 6 p.m. on FM 90.9. Still to come, we'll listen to a conversation with the principal of the new multilingual elementary school in Urbana. That story is coming up next on 217 Today.
Next time on the 21st show, the 2024 Democratic National Convention is history. We'll talk it over with two Illinois reporters who covered it on the ground. We'll get a national perspective from Linda Kenyon. And finally, we'll talk with a historian from the Smithsonian Institution, whose job includes going to political conventions and collecting memorabilia. I'm Brian Mackey. That's next time on the 21st show. Join us.
You're listening to 217 Today. I'm Stephanie Mosqueda. About 16% of the 30,000 English learners in Illinois are taking public school classes to become bilingual in both their first language and English. Few of those schools are fully multilingual. One is in Champaign. And after years of debate, Yankee Ridge Multilingual Elementary School opened in Urbana last week. IPM's Emily Hayes spoke with the principal, Patricia Valente.
What are you most excited about from your first week of school so far?
Every staff member is going above and beyond what their role is, and they're super stoked and super excited to be here. I just love being around like-minded people. It's really refreshing because I've been doing this for 20-some years. I started as a bilingual teacher, then a coach, and then a multilingual director. And being able to be in a building where we're all in have the similar lens that we're looking through education is really powerful. So in all of our staff meetings that we've met, collaborative work, being able to interact with each other, finally having, buildings that were separated into 3 different schools, now we're all together. It's like a big family reunion. People are super collaborative.
How do you handle having these 2 main multilingual tracks? One is where students are learning English and Spanish, and the other people are learning English and French.
So far, we've only really been like in our community building with staff, so that's where it starts, right? That they're integrated with their grade level, they're integrated with teams, that each of them have a voice in communicating their thoughts and their ideas. So really doing team building and learning each other's, like who they are, and being able to value each other's person and being. And so being able to value each other's person and being, you are more likely to reach out. A lot of our teachers are pretty strategic in making sure that we include other teachers in conversations. Oh, don't forget so-and-so. Oh, don't forget, we need to include them. So like when you make schedules or when you do grade level collaboration, so thinking about do we have everyone at the table? And if someone forgets, someone else remembers.
The teacher shortage is most acute among special education and dual language teachers. What do you think can be done, perhaps at the state level, to ease that problem?
If Illinois can continue to fund alternative ways that districts can pay for education for TAs, for high school students, that'd be greatly appreciated. And then visiting teachers has been a really amazing program that we've connected with, teachers from Spain. There's other sponsors like Green Heart that also brings teachers from like Argentina or Dominican Republic. Having more sponsors and a variety of sponsors. Another thing the state of Illinois can do, provide more funding that we can raise salaries to be able to provide stipends for the hard to fill. And we are doing that now in Urbana, but if they can continue to provide funds that can help support enticing or encouraging teachers to come over to get the training that they need or want is also really important.
I've been talking with Principal Patricia Valente of Yankee Ridge Multilingual Elementary School. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you for the opportunity to share all the amazing things that are happening here.
And finally, in your forecast, meteorologist Andrew Pritchard says it'll be sunny with a high of 83 degrees. That's it for today. 217 Today is produced by Stephanie Mosqueda. Reporting today contributed by Reginald Hardwick, Christine Hatfield, Dave McKinney, and Emily Hayes. Music by the Kilbourne Alley Blues Band. Reginald Hardwick is our news director. I'm Stephanie Mosqueda. 217 Today is a production of Illinois Public Media. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again on Monday. Have a great weekend.